Well, okay, that was the famous I Know You're Married kickoff, and there's also a break there that I did. And Don didn't do a full break on the original version, but he did do it in later years, and that was something similar to what he would have done. That was kind of my own break that I did, but I have heard him do similar breaks to that, and I'll show you that too. I won't spend a whole lot of time on the kickoff. I will go through it, but most people that are buying my DVDs have probably already got the 5 DVD set that I did, which I explained the I Know You're Married break on, or kickoff rather. So I'll spend a little bit of time on it, but I want to get to the break part so I can teach you that and also show you some different things that you can do with I Know You're Married. The kickoff starts in D up here, and most of I Know You're Married is all double stop brushes. And what I mean by that, we're using 2 notes and we're brushing down on the strings, those 2 notes, partial chords that we're hitting with the thumb, brushing down on them, and I'm muting the bridge with my hand. I'm putting the back of my right hand on the bridge. Okay, so the kickoff starts like that, and all I'm doing is brushing down on the 3rd and 2nd strings, and then I'm coming over here and hitting the 4th fret on the 3rd string, and then I'm coming down and brushing the 2nd and 1st strings. I'm holding this D position down. Alright, and at this point I'm going to hit the strings open. And I know that doesn't sound right slow, but what's going to happen is I'm hitting the strings open, and I'm going to start sliding down here into this D chord before that sounds wrong. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it doesn't have a chance to really ring out. It's clipped off when I start sliding down here. Don would throw in open notes like that, whether it was in B flat or whatever. It wouldn't matter. Say if I did it in F, you see, you don't really notice it. When you play it slow, it doesn't sound right. So anyway, the reason why he would throw in those open notes like that, whether they harmonize with the chord you're in or not, was to add bounce to it. There's a little hop to the playing. Alright, and what I'm doing is I'm hit that open and just slide in from somewhere up here down to this D position at your 12th fret. Alright, and what I'm doing is I'm brushing those strings, the 1st and 2nd strings, like that, and reaching over here with my pinky and grabbing the 13th fret and going back and forth on it. And like I said, this is all double stops. We're doing 2 strings at once. Then we're going to come up here and flat our ring finger across the 12th fret on the 3rd and 2nd strings. And we're going to brush that, and then we're going to come over here to the 10th fret, staying on the 2nd and 3rd strings, and we're going to brush those, and we're going to hammer on to the 11th fret right there while holding down the 10th frets on the 3rd and 2nd strings. And then we're going to brush the 4th and 3rd strings. 4th fret, the 4th string will be noted on the 12th fret, and the 3rd string will be noted on the 11th fret. And all it is this D position. We never stray far from the positions. Your basic major position. You can get all kinds of rock and roll type sounds. Okay? So let's play that. Alright. And And you can mix that kickoff up a little bit. You can a lot of times I'll do this. Instead of just going back and forth, I'm doing this. And it looks like my finger is doing something, but it's really not. The only reason I take my finger on and off the 10th or the 11th fret on the 3rd string when I'm doing this is I'm cutting the note off. I want it to stop. I don't want it to ring. Alright, so that's a little variation of the first part of it. And then we're going to go back to the 10th fret once we hit that point. We're going to hammer back on. We're hitting that 10th fret, 3rd and 2nd strings, hammering on, back to the 4th and 3rd. We're going to come down here on the 10th fret on the 1st and 2nd strings and brush those two. Back to the 12th fret on the 3rd and 1st strings. Okay. Back there, and then we're going to come over here, and this time we're going to brush the 10th fret on the 3rd and 2nd strings, but this time we're not going to hammer on. We're actually going to hit the notes separately. Instead of, we're going to hit it 2 times. Sounds like Jaws a little bit, but like that. And back to the 4th and 3rd strings. Okay. It's a little tricky, just to stay in time and how many times to do it. All right. The key thing to remember is all of that is double stops, and it's all brush work. We're hitting 2 strings at once. Okay, and then we're going to follow up with, we're going to play this D7th chord with the 1st and 2nd strings on the 7th fret mashed, and the 5th fret on the 3rd string mashed down here. And we're going to brush all 3 strings this time instead of just 2 strings, but the emphasis is going to be on the 3rd and 2nd notes. The 1st string is kind of just it's in there, but it's not as predominant as the rest of them. And all we're going to do is brush it and bring it back to this D position. It's the same position, 1, 2, 3, and back to the D chord. Okay. So let me play that whole kickoff slow. Okay. On the end of it here, Don would do this. He would do that position, and then he would slide into that D position on the 3rd and 2nd strings. And then he would brush the 3rd or the 2nd and 1st strings. If you can figure that out there by looking at it. I'm just holding that D chord down. I'm not doing anything with the left hand. Hit it again on the 2nd and 1st strings. Come up here and hit the 4th fret on the 3rd string. And finish it off with a hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret on the 4th string, and then open. Okay, I think you got that. Most of you are probably familiar with that kickoff anyway. Like I said, if you got the DVD set, you've probably already learned that. But some of you haven't, so I think we should have spent a little bit of time on that. What I really want to show you here is the break to this tune. And I really like playing I Know You're Married. In a lot of cases in Don's tunes, a lot of times I'm not that crazy about the song itself. It's Don's breaks that he takes that makes me want to play the songs. Of course, most songs I do like that they do, whether just the tune of it, I do like it. But he can take a mediocre song and make the song just fantastic just by his breaks. Songs I wouldn't normally probably would do, but I just want to play the breaks to him because he's such a genius at doing that. It makes his breaks so creative and sound good. And I'm a rock and roll fan, so I like I Know You're Married because you can do a lot of rock and roll type stuff in it. And the break that I did here, I started out, I kind of started off like I did the beginning. And what I'm doing is I'm brushing down on the 3rd and 2nd strings, coming on, and then I come over here and hit the 4th fret on the 3rd string, and then the 2nd and 1st, I'm holding down that D chord, coming back up to the 3rd and 2nd strings. Alright, and I'm going to slide into that D7th position that we ended with earlier. I'm just going to brush this over and over, just kind of driving it home, kind of like a Jerry Lee Lewis type piano where he's just hitting that note. And that sounds real rock and roll, rollish there. That's what it sounds like. And that's all stuff that we just learned during the kickoff there. And you can play with how many times you want to hit this, or you can pause in it and slide back and forth. Okay, we end with that same little lick we did in the beginning. Slide into that D. Okay. Another thing you can do at this point in this D chord is something that Don has done in 2 or 3 other songs. I think I heard him do this in Coffee Cup, which was on his Song for Everyone album. It's a pretty rare album. A lot of people haven't heard it, but it's a great album if you can find it. But what he's doing, you can hold down this D position, this D7th that we were just doing, and you can take your ring finger and you pull off. You hold the strings back here with your finger here and flatten it across the 5th fret, but bring these 2 fingers around and hold the 7th fret on the 1st and 2nd strings, and I'm going to pull off the 2nd string with my ring finger, and I'm pulling off from the 7th fret to the 5th. Okay? So what I'm going to do, what I'm doing is I'm hitting that 3rd string, and then I'm pinching with my 1st and middle fingers on my right hand while pulling off the 7th fret to the 5th. Okay? I just wanted to show you that because Don does use that in a few tunes, and it can fit into I Know You're Married if you want it to. Like I said, this is a really good song to jam on. I like to really try to invent as much stuff as I can when I take a break on it. Change it up every time if I can. So anyway, let's start off with this. Alright, and then we're going to keep going, and we're going to start off just like we started the kickoff. I'm going to slide into this D chord. It's almost exactly like the kickoff. Okay, but instead of going through all of that again like the kickoff, we're going to go, the song goes to E at this point because we're playing a full break. So we're going to hit this 4th and 3rd string again while we're holding this D chord. Alright? And we're going to hit it again and slide into your E chord up here on the 14th fret. And hit that 4th and 3rd string again while holding down that E chord. See, it's exactly like what we did here in the D chord, but it's the same positions. Flattening down on the, well, in the E here, we're flattening down on the 12th fret on the 1st and 2nd strings. Then we're coming up here to the 14th fret on the 3rd and 2nd strings. 12th fret on the 3rd and 2nd strings. Hammering on back to the 4th and 3rd strings in your E chord up here. Alright. Make sure you get that hammer on in there. Now hit that again. Alright. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to do double stops on the 10th or the 12th, the 11th, and 14th. Or not 11th, I'm sorry, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Alright. And what we're doing, we're walking from this D chord to an E to an A. Or this, actually, it's a barred A on your 14th fret. So, alright, when you end up on that 4th and 3rd string in your E chord, we're going to come up here and brush the 12th fret on the 1st and 2nd strings to the 13th to the 14th. Alright. Like that. And it takes some getting used to flatten your fingers across 2 strings. Alright. Now we're in A at this point. And we're going to hit another open string deal, kind of like in the kickoff there. And we're going to come up here, we hit the strings open, and we're going to come up here and grab this partial D chord. It's like your D position. And we're holding down the 15th fret on the 2nd string and the 16th fret on the 1st string. Okay? Alright, you hear that open note? It didn't sound right, but it is when you play it fast. See, it adds a little bounce to the double stops. Alright. We're going to come back to the 14th fret. We're going to walk back down to the 12th fret using those double stops we started with. We're hitting the open notes again after this note, after this partial D chord here. Back to the 12th fret. We're going to come over here and we're going to hit, we're doing double stops on the 3rd and 2nd strings now. This will be on the 13th fret to the 12th fret, or 13th fret to the 14th fret. we're just walking back from we're coming up to the 13th to the 14th and back to the 13th and then the 14th and then back to the 13th to the 12th. And what we're doing is we're walking through this A chord to an A7th, this barred A7th, just like this barred D7th, the same note, same chord position. Alright, I'll play that slow. Alright. Actually, I think I'm going from the 14th to the 12th on the end of it. Playing those double stops on the 3rd and 2nd strings. Alright. Let me play that whole passage there from the second half. Well, I'll play the whole kickoff. Or the whole break, actually. I'm sorry. Finishing off, I'm just doing a quick little brush on that A7th chord we did. Okay, when you get done with that, up here, we're going to come up here back to this D7th that we did before. Something like that. What we're doing here is we're going to brush the strings open using this D7th chord that we did earlier. And we're going to brush open, and then we're going to come back 1 fret from that D7th chord, and then we're going to go to the D7th. So, alright? And it's kind of like it's almost like a roll. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, and what I'm doing is I'm brushing down all 3 strings, open to the D7th. I'm just flattening that D7th chord and bringing it to the D7th. And then just slide. Alright, back to that D chord. Alright. And anytime that you're not sure which strings I'm brushing down on, you can rewind the DVD and look where I'm brushing. If I'm on the third and 2nd strings, and then I'll be on the 1st and the 2nd and 1st here. So, because I take it for granted that you know which strings I'm brushing on, just because I've done this so long. So I may forget to tell you which strings I'm brushing. So forgive me if I do. But just rewind the DVD and if you're having trouble with that. But anyway. And the reason why I mention that is because I'm brushing that on the 1st and 2nd string. 1st and 2nd, then back to the 3rd and 2nd. Okay. So you do that there, and you don't have to follow exactly what I'm showing you here. You can do whatever you want to. Once you get these positions down and start messing around, you can slide into it as many times as you want, or go back and forth as many times as you want. So just experiment with it. Now we're going to finish the break off, and we're going to brush the strings open again. I'm brushing it a little bit harder open, just so you can see that I'm brushing it open. You can hear it actually. And I'm going to hit the strings open again. You're actually hitting them twice here. doesn't sound right, but okay, when it's up to speed, it doesn't sound bad. It covers it up because we're going fast and we're clipping the notes off as we did earlier. So, and what I'm doing here is the exact same thing we did here. I'm brushing open, then I'm brushing back here, flattening the position we're going to. I'm coming up here and doing that on this D chord at the 12th fret, your regular D chord that we've been working out of. I'm brushing open, and then I'm coming down, flattening that D chord. Okay. All right. Just like that forward roll. What I'm doing here on the end, Don would use this lick. We went over this, that type of lick there, but this time we're going to brush down on the 10th fret on the 2nd and 1st strings, and we're going to reach over here and grab that note on the 13th fret on the 2nd string. It's the same note that we used in the kickoff. Okay? But we're going to brush down on the 10th fret on the 2nd and 1st strings and reach over and grab that. And what we're doing here is what it sounds like. We're hitting double sevenths. It's the same note. The 10th fret on the 1st string and the 13th fret on the 2nd string is the same note. But what happens is it gives it a little bit of bluesy sound because you choke in that string just a little bit. Okay, let me play that whole part there. Okay, and all of this stuff should be familiar to you from the kickoff. All right, and then we end off exactly like the kickoff here. All right, but we end with this little all right, and what he's doing here is he's playing a B minor off of your D chord. And I usually pinch it instead of brushing it, I think. It gives it a little bit softer sound on the end of a song. But you can brush it. I think that's the way it ended there. So let me play this whole break one more time slow and play it along with me. I'll try to stick to what I showed you here if I can remember it. And just play along with me on this thing here. Okay, I missed it on the end a little bit there, but That's how he ended it. So, the main thing I wanted to stress to you on I Know You're Married is experiment with it. Once you get these basic positions, all that stuff like that. So you can just do all kinds of stuff with I Know You're Married on the break. And to me, I Know You're Married really represents Don's style more than anything else. Most people think of single string when they think of I Know You're Don Reno's style, but I think of I Know You're Married because it has so much great brushwork in it. But it was actually the first song that really got me into Reno style when I heard I Know You're Married. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. And that is basically one break of I Know You're Married and the kickoff. And hopefully you'll come up with your own variations, and I hope you enjoy playing it.